The movie starts by displaying a couple who were both tourists. The woman's call became Hader, who had come to Australia with her group to visit. However, they slept for a long time, so the group left them and went away. Taking advantage of this, these people come to the seashore in order to have the shark area enjoy. That is, they may be put in a cage and left within the water, and they'll get the experience of seeing the shark very closely. Now, the person to whom that they had come turned into named Tucker, and he had named this shark experience as Tucker Experience. He turned into now not there for the time being, so each of them went to considered one of his buddies, who said that Tucker wants to rest for a few days. This is why he'll no longer take you for the revel in. However, within the meantime, Tucker himself comes. He turned into searching, very enthusiastic. He says, "How can I not take you like that? I'm able to sincerely make you each have the revel in." After which he made each of them sit down within the boat and went to the ocean. He tells them that in formative years I survived a shark attack, meaning I survived and its marks are nonetheless on my body. After telling this, he additionally suggests them the one's marks. He said that from that day onwards I advanced a peculiar attachment with sharks. Hearing this, Hader says, "I will apprehend how difficult this task need to be for you. It must have been a very scary revel in for you. You survived a shark attack and now you have to work amongst them. If there was some other man or woman for your vicinity, he could never have even seen the sea." In this, Tucker stated, no, it isn't the shark's fault. Nicely, now he throws blood within the sea, and both of them are put in a cage and left within the water, because of which many sharks come around them, and this is their enjoy of shark's age, wherein they experience seeing the shark so carefully. They were also glad with the fact that till the person does now not panic and receive scared, the shark does now not get indignant nor attacks. Both of them pop out of the water happily. They had been about to leave after thanking Tucker whilst he suggests his genuine shades. He stabs Hader's friend inside the neck and throws him back into the water. Seeing this, Hader starts screaming loudly for assist, but there has been no one to listen her voice inside the middle of the ocean. And now Tucker begins looking at her with a devilish smile. What did Tucker do to her? This isn't always proven in the intervening time, and the scene shifts. This time we see an American lady who is the principal character of the story and whose name is Jeff. She surfs in the sea. She runs at the waves of the sea with the assist of a surfboard, after which she goes to the gasoline station in front, wherein she meets a boy who became an agent. Her car changed into not beginning. That is why she desires assist. Now Jeff has a massive camper in which she lives. However, nevertheless, she became not geared up to assist him due to the fact she loves to stay away from humans. But whilst the agent boy kept insisting, Jeff became forced to assist him. She took him in her van to present him a lift. Throughout this time, they talked so much that they began liking every different. They have become friends because both of them preferred surfing very plenty. They wanted to spend greater time together. It is why each of them stayed within the van outside the boy's house and spent an awesome time together. In the meantime, Jeff's pal threw out a chunk of fabric which turned into use to healthy the surfboard. Now Jeff's friend had come to be absolutely extreme about this courting. It really is why he tells Zuffer that we ought to stay together, because I assume we've got met for some motive. But Jeff's addiction became exclusive. She does not need to live at one place usually. She did no longer even move inside his buddy's residence. The boy goes within the house on my own to cook dinner meals, and by the point he got here lower back, Jeff had taken the van and left, which broke the terrible guy's heart. While he became nevertheless missing her, Jeff is going straight to the beach to surf. Now she had to place fins at the surfboard, but her pal had thrown away the fins. That is why she begins searching out fins in the truck parked close by, which become Tucker's truck, which now comes from in the back of. Now he gave her the fins, but within the conversation, he also makes her monitor crucial things, like whether or not she is alone or with someone, because only after this he will make his next move. Like he made Hader and his friend scream that their institution left them. But Zuffer does now not solution his words well. It is why he gets angry and leaves from there together with his truck. Simply then Zuffer got a message from his identical pal, who became pronouncing that we each ought to meet. Now Zuffer additionally wanted to call him, however suppressing his feelings he refused. And this changed into his largest mistake, because then Tucker comes from at the back of and catches him, and after making him subconscious, starts taking him with him. He had stored Zuffer in the car. After visiting a long distance, he puts him inside the boat, and himself is going into the ocean. The next morning his friend also reaches there, but he couldn't see Zuffer anywhere. Only his van was parked. He calls on his wide variety. Then the ring become also coming from inside the van. Honestly, Tucker confirmed cleverness right here also. He threw the surfboard someplace and left it inside the van so that everyone could think that Zuffer has died through drowning. Alternatively, when Zuffer regains recognition, she unearths herself in the room beneath the boat. Her mouth become bandaged and her fingers have been tied to the mattress, on the mattress subsequent to which Hader became tied. Now not information the situation, Zuffer started screaming loudly. However, inside the center of the sea, there was nobody to pay attention to her, and Hader also explains this to her. Zuffer started seeking out something to open the handcuffs, along with hairpins or sharp items. However, they did no longer have any such aspect. Then Jeff's eyes fell at the wall in the front wherein a woman's call become written. Seeing it, she became numb for a second due to the fact Jeff understood that a few women turned into Tide right here earlier than her, who wrote her name on the wall after losing wish, while she becomes certain that she would not be capable of breakout. Now Zuffer attempts everything to get unfastened, but Hader does nothing and simply lies down because she has already carried out everything. So she lay down tired and defeated. In the meantime, Tacker changed into sitting above and catching fish with ease. Jeff asks Hader, "Will a person be searching out you?" Hader tells that a boy turned into with me. He simply had to find me. However, something very bad happened to him on this boat. Hearing this, Jeff guessed that Tacker ought to have killed him too. Then Hader asks her, "Will someone come to locate you?" Zuffer replies, "They may have come, however now they will no longer come." But his buddy became nonetheless thinking about her. He started to get harassed yet again. Then he sees that Jeff's van is being taken away. He unearths it very extraordinary. He thinks that that is Jeff's house. Where would she be residing without him? His worry continues increasing. That is why he goes instantly to the police station, and from there, he starts searching out Jeff, due to which she dies a painful loss of life and facts her dying in his camera. But seeing all this with his own eyes, Zuffer were given terrified. Whilst crying, she also writes her and Hader's call on the wall. Then he notices that there aren't just one or two women names written here, but many ladies' names, whose names have been hidden after being petted, which means that Tacker isn't handiest a mad person, but he is likewise a serial killer, and he has made many vacationer women his suffers and killed them brutally. The evidence of this were many tapes kept above wherein the deaths of all the ones women have been recorded, and on each tape there has been hair of the death girl. New tape of Hader is delivered to those, and the subsequent one become to be Zuffer. Within the sea we see what's left of Hader's body. Let's examine the component floating. That's a completely painful scene. Jeff's friend changed into nevertheless wandering on the seashore after browsing, wherein he found Jeff's surfboard, which will increase his trouble further. He thinks that each one his stuff is close by. Then where is Jeff? At night time, Tucker came down again with water and bed for Jeff. However, Jeff, who was complete of anger, kicks the tray and drops it and says in his face that you think yourself a shark, right? But you aren't a shark, you are a Trojan horse. Only a worm. Crazy worm. Hearing this, Tucker left from there in anger. Now Jeff breaks the bucket lying there with the help of which he had made a pointed weapon because he knew that Tacker would surely come again. Now Jeff had no longer inebriated water, so Tacker is going to provide him an injection of unconsciousness. As quickly as he came close to, Jeff inserts that pointed weapon in his neck, because of which he falls back. Alternatively, after struggling all night time whilst Jeff did not get loose, she sat there in melancholy. Then she notices that there's a twine inside the garments that Hader is sporting. She is about to open the handcuffs with the wire while Tacker brings bread and water for them. Now due to the fact the complete room become particularly warm, Hader fast takes the water and drinks it. However, seeing the way she become hiding herself with the sheet, Tucker begins getting suspicious. However, earlier than he can cast off the sheet, Zuffer turns her attention in the direction of himself by using saying that provide me my meals. I am very hungry. She additionally liquids the water quick. Tucker also leaves from there after scaring her a piece. After his departure, Zuffer again tries to open the health chain, but then her eyes start remaining due to the fact Tucker had combined anesthesia in the water, and now before that she receives free, she gets stuck, with which each of them fainted. While Zuffer regains awareness, she unearths herself at the higher deck, tied to a chair. Whilst in the front, Hader changed into tied to a strap, that is, to hang from a belt and so forth. Duck had also installation a digicam in the front to document everything, and he turned into calling all this a shoot. Right here he cuts Hader's hair and starts speak me nonsense to him. He says that God is not above, but below, within the water. That is, he was calling sharks God. He additionally says that sharks aren't horrific, however people are horrific. They are the ones who kill them. After this, he places blood within the water, because of which sharks additionally come, and with the help of a rope, he leaves Hader in the water. Now there was blood. Hater became suffering from above. This is why the shark were given angry. It attacks her badly and tears her body aside and separates the top part from the lower. Although this factor is not possible, especially when I had left him and he did not know something about me. However, what her pal had stated had come authentic, that we have met for a unique purpose. Zuffer tells her to fast move upstairs and produce something in order that I may be loose, and Speedy named the police. Now his pal commenced going up, even as creating a name. However, alas, Tucker got here upstairs and caught him. The police had already been known as, however, earlier than he may want to say anything. Tucker breaks his telephone. Then he beats him and injures him. But by hook or by crook, Jeff's buddy also attacked and beat him and became about to kill him by way of strangling him, whilst Tucker's friend comes from behind and attacks him due to the fact he himself did not recognize how bad someone Tucker is and what he does. While he sees Jeff screaming, he understands the whole thing, but what is the use, as it changed into too overdue. Tucker puts a hook in his head, due to which he died on the spot. Tucker idea that it'd no longer be proper to stay on the shore. That is why he began going to a deserted island with a boat, and he tied Jeff's buddy on the bed next to Jeff. His buddy was approximately to talk his coronary heart out to Zuffer when Tucker arrives and brings each of them up, due to the fact he had determined that he would have to kill one in every of them to report a tip these days. He throws his pal's frame in the water, which pulls the sharks, after which, with the assist of a rope, he lowers Zuffer's pal into the water as well. Despite the fact that the sharks were very close to him, they couldn't damage him due to the fact he did now not get scared at all by way of obeying Zuffer. He remained calm. If he got scared and commenced a conflict, then he would have virtually been attacked. Jeff quick takes the important thing and unlocks himself and begins going for walks from there. However, with the aid of then Tucker also succeeded in injecting her leg. She ran up. She requested for help through the radio, but there was no reaction from the alternative side. Then she saw a boat in the front. That is why she began shouting loudly in order that their interest changed into drawn toward it. But a party become going on in that boat, so it was very hard for the voice to attain there. In the intervening time, Tucker also comes up. Seeing him, Zuffer alternatives up his digicam. He become getting very concerned about the camera, so Zuffer throws it inside the water, after which she herself jumps into the water with the hope that she can attain the boat in front, but within the center she faints. Then Tucker catches her again and brings her back and ties her to the boat all over again. Now glaringly, he did now not have a digital camera, so how might he report Zuffer? And if he can't document his loss of life, then manifestly he'll not kill them both. Thinking this, Zuffer made the whole plan. That is why now Tucker comes lower back to the shore in order that he can deliver a new camera. Tying Zuffer inside the boat, he leaves with the truck. Meanwhile, the police is likewise looking for Zuffer, but his buddy was nonetheless no longer at peace. This is why he sits in his automobile and begins looking the CCTV photos of the automobile parking space, wherein he sees Tucker's truck close to Zuffer's truck. Seeing the emblem of Tucker Revelin on it, he searches a chunk, and after you have the appropriate deal with of that location, he subsequently reaches that boat. As he got here inside, he heard Zuffer shouting from downstairs. This is why he quickly broke the door and got here interior, and in the end reaches Zuffer. She became happy to see him. On the equal time, she became additionally amazed that how did he reach me without any clue. He realized that the largest threat isn't always his friend, but Zuffer. So this time he made his friend sit down on a chair and hung Zuffer with the help of steps. Just then a huge white shark came there, due to which the other sharks moved far from there. Today his show was going to be very large, seeing which he became very happy and shocked due to the fact in childhood he turned into also attacked with the aid of a white shark, and now, without losing any time, it leaves Zuffer in the water. However, Zuffer turned into cozy, so he still survived. Then he began frightening the shark by way of hitting it with a spear. Then Bala mistakenly is going to Zuffer, and she gets unfastened and goes into the water, in which she sees the white shark very carefully. Now the shark does come near her, however goes away without causing any harm. Even though her hand was bleeding, Zuffer sees that there may be a reduced mark on the shark too. Because of this, that he's additionally a survivor of the shark. He isn't always a survivor of any animal, but of humans. That is why in this film people are called dangerous animals, meaning risky animals who kill animals mercilessly. They do no longer even see that they're now not causing any damage to humans. Now seeing this, Zuffer over again got braveness, and he climbs at the boat once more. She assaults Tucker with a spear, because of which he falls into the water, and now the shark takes him far from there by means of conserving him in its mouth. It starts off evolved ingesting him mercilessly. He dies a terrible loss of life, and this time the best tape is fabricated from Tucker himself. life. Definitely perfect lovely. However, in the intervening time, Zuffer additionally falls into the water. Seeing this, her buddy got very upset due to the fact he felt that she would additionally die, and he changed into also very unhappy. But by some means, Zuffer got here out once more and took care of her buddy, because she is a very brave woman. Now that he turned into genuinely proper, Tacker takes him out and brings him return to the boat to attempt any other approach. This time he made many cuts on the body of Zuffer's friend, after which left him within the water, meaning now his chances of survival are very less. But then Tucker Zuffer notices the helicopter coming there, which was searching for Zuffer. This is why he's taking both of them down once more and ties them up. Now his pal's life turned into stored from the shark. However, his situation changed into very terrible. He may want to have died due to bleeding. Seeing his circumstance, Zuffer tries very hard to take his hand out of the handcuffs, however it's far of no need. Now she couldn't think about whatever else. She breaks her thumb so that she can take her hand out. However, even then the hand does not pop out. Then she did something even more dangerous. She separated the relaxation of the thumb together with her tooth. Even though he suffered loads, however now he is free. Then Tacker additionally comes right here. To make him subconscious, she dodges him and is going out of the room. She locks him interior. However, Tacker was very smart. He knew some other way to get out. Coming up, Zuffer starts off of the boat. However, Tacker comes out of the room and shuts down the entire system. Now there was no other way. This is why she clashes with Tacker. After fighting him for a long term, she jumps into the water to visit the island in front in which the wedding changed into taking place. But she had a whole lot of hassle because her hand was bleeding. There was a shark in the water, and Tacker was also coming from behind with a small boat. Notwithstanding this, she tries her satisfactory to come out of the water to the island. But before she ought to do something, Tacker comes from behind and catches her. Yet again, he makes her subconscious and brings her return to the boat. Zuffer lighting a flare and calls the boat passing by way of which fortuitously sees them and comes to help. And in this way, due to his bravery, Zuffer stored his and his pal's life. And with this, the story of this movie ends right here. You just enjoyed this explanation. Imagine what's coming next. Subscribe and be the first to watch.